Hi, I'm Keely from Retirement Dreams to Reality, and today I'm going to talk about what if you could retire even earlier than your planned early retirement. What if you could bring your retirement forward 2, 3, maybe even 4 years? Is that something you would consider? It's something I've really been considering over the past couple of weeks. Now, in previous videos, we've talked about how much it costs to retire. And one of the simplest ways to work it out is you need to work out what you want to do in retirement. So you need to work out your budget.
Take your retirement, for example. It may seem a long way off, right? But every day you're being presented with choices that shape the type of lifestyle you want to live in retirement. Whether it's one that covers all your needs, one that gives you more flexibility to do the things you want, or one that allows you to be more spontaneous with your money. To help you picture what retirement lifestyle you could have, we've developed the Retirement Living Standards.
And if you're not really quite sure how to work out your budget, there are loads of figures that work it out for you. So even since I started planning our figures, things have gone up, obviously due to inflation. So the latest figures are £22,000 for a couple on a basic income, annual. So if you're a couple, if you've got a basic needs with a little bit of extra, then all the figures say that you need about £22,000 a year to retire. For a couple who want to moderately spend, the latest figures are £43,000 a year. So that's more holidays, a car, a few other bits and bobs. And for a couple who want to be very comfortable in retirement, then the latest figures are £59,000. So that's gone up quite a lot. I think it was about 38 when we first started looking for moderate, and now it's gone up to 43. So you decide where you think you're going to fall on that. But there is also another school of thought that says just work out exactly what you think you are going to spend in retirement. So look at what you spend now. So spend quite a few months, maybe even sort of 6 months working out your budget now, and then take off what you're not going to spend in retirement and add on what you think you are. Now, that's sort of what we did. And we came up with a figure. I don't want to talk about figures on our channel, but we came up with a figure of around £40,000 to do everything that we want to do, which could be up to 9 months travel a year, to do our coffee shop thing, to just live the life, go and see my son twice in America, to live the life that we want to live. We worked out that we think we'll need about £40,000. And we worked out we're going to do that in, currently that is 4 years' time. Now, what if we don't do all those things for a few years? What if we decide to live more moderately for a few years, not forever? I'm not saying our travel plans are going to be off the table forever, but what's got me thinking about this is our lovely little pooch, it seems, might live to about 15, 16 years old. Now, if that's the case, he's currently 10. If that's the case, our first 2 years in retirement won't be travelling abroad for 9 months of the year because we'll still have a dog. And we'll still have a very old dog. We'll have an old dog. We'll have a dog that's 14, 15 or 16. And there's no way he's going to be up to travelling that much. So we started talking about that recently, and we're like, well, maybe our first couple of years in retirement will have to be a lot more low key. Now, if our first couple of years in retirement are a lot more low key, then surely that means they're going to cost less. So if we're going to go from spending 40,000 to maybe only 30,000 or even 25,000, then does that mean we can retire maybe even 2 years earlier? Because instead of spending 40, if we spend 25, then that means in the first 2 years we're only spending 50 rather than 80. If we did that for 3 years, then that means we're spending 75 rather than 120. Surely that's got to buy us at least 1 year earlier retirement. Please remember, if you're enjoying this video, or even if you're not, please help by liking and subscribing. Like and subscribe. I need to say. If just that simple maths means that we could retire earlier, then how many people have actually looked at the figures and thought, yes, I have these big dreams in retirement. Yes, I want to spend this certain set amount of money in retirement. But am I willing to sacrifice a little bit of something so that I can retire earlier? And that's a real quandary for us at the moment. That's something that I'm going over all the time. And one thing that I specifically did to see how that would work is I looked at the life that we're spending now. So at this moment in time, we go on a couple of cruises a year. I go abroad to see my son twice a year. We do trusted house sitters, which doesn't cost a lot, but it definitely scratches my itch. I go on holiday with my sisters at least once a year. We do the coffee shop thing at weekends, every school holiday. So I looked at, what if we actually spent our first few years of retirement just like we're spending life now, but the money that we spend going to work, because you do spend money going to work, we wouldn't have 2 cars, we'd only have 1. We would use nowhere near the petrol that we use now. So all of that would go into the extra odd holiday. And the holidays that we would have would be cheaper anyway, because we wouldn't have to go in school holidays. And anybody that's had to pay for school holidays knows that that's a massive difference in cost. Hiya. So once I started to factor all that in, I worked out that we currently spend less to live the life that we live, less than £30,000 a year. So once again, you're talking at least £10,000 per year less than our actual figures. So yeah, and is that a sacrifice I'm willing to make? Am I willing to just carry on living the life that I'm living now for a few more years without work, rather than jumping into retirement like all feet first and wanting to travel here, there and everywhere? And that's a dilemma. But it's an ongoing dilemma. It's a good dilemma. And it's literally mulling around my head over the last few weeks. It's absolutely, there's no nothing's formulated. I've not actually sat down and calculated all the figures. I've not gone into great detail with Bruce about it. But that's where I am. How could you implement that into your retirement? So is it worth it to you? Is it worth postponing or changing your plans to retire earlier? And keep watching and we'll find out whether that's what we do. Because I've never been so unsure about anything. But I suppose I'm going to caveat this. I'm nearly finished. But I'm going to caveat this with, we had such a fabulous time at Surrey for our Trusted House Sitters Week. And we literally went to coffee shops, walked in the woods, played some games, chilled out. And it made me think how much I enjoyed that time. And did I need to be travelling as much as I thought I did? And then you throw the dog into the mix of, well, if he's still here, you're definitely not going to be travelling as much as you think you are. Then that really changes it. So that's where we are. And I was just going to say that I've just had a lovely walk on a disused railway right near my house. And it leads to a place called Mill Lakes, where there's a beautiful lake and just footpaths around it. It used to have a lovely, lovely coffee shop, but unfortunately that closed down about 6 months ago, I think. So we're just having a fabulous sunny afternoon walk to Mill Lakes before we toddle back home. And could this be our retirement every day? And could this be our retirement a lot sooner if this is what we do? So that's Keely from Retirement Dreams to Reality. Thank you for taking this walk with me.